stopping a foreign country like Qatar from establishing a permanent military presence, base or facility on U.S. soil, if it were being proposed or attempted, would require a combination of legal, constitutional, political, and institutional actions. Here are the main levers and some steps that could be taken. Legal and constitutional barriers. Sovereignty and U.S. law. The U.S. has a strong legal tradition that foreign militaries do not get to establish sovereign bases on U.S. soil without U.S. consent, oversight, and legal agreements. Any facility or facility construction must comply with U.S. federal law, treaties, and constitutional limits. Treaty, agreement requirement. For any foreign military presence beyond simple training or cooperative operations, there would likely need to be a formal treaty or executive agreement, approved by Congress, especially if it affects U.S. sovereignty, land use, or national security. Role of Congress. Congress controls funding. It can refuse to appropriate funds for construction or operation. Ratification of treaties. If a treaty is required to allow a foreign base, the Senate must ratify it. Oversight authority. Congress can hold hearings, demand transparency, sue, and pass legislation blocking or constraining such foreign presence. Military and Defense Department regulations. The Department of Defense, DoD, must follow U.S. laws, regulations, and policy that safeguard sovereignty. U.S. military commanders and officials are legally bound to refuse any orders that are illegal or violate the Constitution. State laws and property rights. Land in question might be federal, state, or local. Depending on ownership, state or local rules may also come into play. Eminent domain, land use, environmental regulation, etc., could also serve as legal breaks or challenges. Institutional and political safeguards. Public awareness and media. Transparent reporting, media investigations, and public debate can create political pressure to block or scale back proposals. Whistleblowers, oversight bodies. Inside the military or government, oversight boards, ethics offices, inspector generals, or internal audits could expose questionable agreements or plans. Judicial action. Lawsuits could be filed by states, NGOs, citizens, arguing violations of constitutional rights or federal law. Courts, including federal district courts, appeals courts, up to the Supreme Court, can issue injunctions stopping unlawful construction or deployment. State and local governments. States might refuse to cooperate, permits, local infrastructure, zoning, if they believe federal actions are overstepping. Governors or state attorneys general could bring legal action. Vice President, Cabinet, 25th Amendment. If the President is acting unconstitutionally or through abuse of power, the VP and Cabinet might invoke the 25th Amendment, if the President is unable or unwilling to carry out duties faithfully, as a legal remedy. Military leadership. Senior military officials have an oath to defend the Constitution. They can refuse to execute illegal orders. Practical steps to prevent a foreign military presence by Qatar. If one wants to act in such a case, here are steps that could practically be taken. Clarify exactly what is being proposed. Is this a training facility, a joint facility, an independent base, etc.? The details matter a lot for what legal rules apply. Mobilize congressional oversight. Request hearings from the relevant committees, armed services, foreign relations, homeland security, appropriations. Seek resolutions or legislation explicitly forbidding or limiting foreign military facilities by non-allied foreign governments, depending on policy. Seek judicial relief. File lawsuits based on constitutional claims, treaty clause if applicable, property rights, separation of powers, etc. Use environmental law, historic site protection, or zoning laws to slow or block construction. Engage public and state-level officials. State governors, state legislatures, local municipalities may not want foreign military presence in their jurisdictions. They can impose or withhold cooperation, e.g. land use permissions, infrastructure connection. Voters can put pressure on their representatives to oppose the plan. Use foreign investment, real estate review tools. U.S. has bodies like CFI U.S., Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, that review foreign investments, particularly near sensitive sites. Recent rules have expanded oversight of land purchases near military installations. Passing more restrictive legislation, e.g., Protect Our Bases Act, to ensure CFI U.S. can block or review land acquisitions near bases.